Good morning. Welcome along to our live stream series from Dundee United in FM21. I'm Daniel, and this morning we've got a few important games coming up. We're a bit earlier than we were expecting to be because we've got a crucial cup game first. We've got games against the likes of Leaders Rangers today, 11th place and 10th place Hamilton and Hibs, and of course Livingston, who are flying high in 6th place as well. But after a strong start to the season, it looks like we're going to finish 3rd or 4th. So there's plenty of positives on the league front, and we can focus on the cups a bit now. So we're going to start with a big cup game today, as well as a few other bits. But those of you that follow me on the social medias, on Discord, even who watch the videos, will know that the main talk today is going to be about Luton Town, because I was back at the game yesterday and it was a brilliant performance. So thank you all for coming along. El Gaming, good morning. Thank you for popping in early and spending your Sunday morning with me. Mark, the same. Welcome. Thanks for popping in. Never have I been so stressed doing icon swaps on FIFA. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that stuff. Football Manager's the more methodical game, isn't it? So it helps me out a little bit. But thank you all for popping in and spending the morning with me. Great to have you along. We'll go through very quickly the results before we get in, just because there's a few more popping in at the moment. Nevsky, Tom, morning. Tom, yes, you've alluded to something, haven't you? I guess I've forgotten about it because I've already recorded a few videos like this. But the lockdown trim is gone. Or the lockdown hair is gone, I should say. James Collins, greatest of all time. He's definitely getting there in my lifetime for Luton strikers. He's probably there with Steve Howard now on his own. Thank you all for popping in. Macca as well, good morning. Nice to have you all here. Up to double figures within 2 minutes. Absolutely stunning. Thank you for your incredible support. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it as well. It does make a big difference. And hopefully a few people will find us and come and join our fun little community. But how was the game, El Gaming? That's the most important question. I'll be honest, there were some bizarre things there. The most bizarre thing was that Preston for the first 20 minutes was sublime. They absolutely thrashed us. And they were unlucky not to score. They didn't create clear chances. They had a couple of half chances. But they were definitely the more territorial and dominant side. As soon as we scored, a beautiful through ball from Pelly and put in by Collins, very well composed, finished. They just collapsed. They lost their intensity to press. They stopped playing through the target man, who eventually came off after the hour. And good that it was a former player who hadn't done well for us in Jaden Stockley. But, yeah, I thought it was a very strange game at that point. Swift, morning, welcome along. Thanks for popping in. Good to have so many of you in this morning. I won't be on for long, but could you pass on a message to Craig if he turns up? Welcome to the Europa League. Even in this, a lower league FM series and a Scottish Football Manager series as this one is, with me being a Luton fan in the lower leagues, it's still Arsenal v United in the comments at times, isn't it? It's bizarre. My generation, half of them grew up like that, didn't they? So I will pass your message on, Tom, because I'm sure you will be delighted to get it across. But thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Let's talk about the game we did play off camera, just so you can see the result of that. It was a penalties win against Forfar. It was a bizarre game. We had a few players away on internationals, but I'm a bit disappointed we threw away a 2-0 lead. We did nick it on penalties in the end, but, you know, it left us in a position we didn't need to be in. If we'd won that game, then today we would have been through. We wouldn't have had to worry about the score. But, as it is now, we've got to worry about Ross County. And the problem we've got for this game, McNulty on international duty, Fuchs on international duty, Pearson still out injured. They've got a few players out as well, but not many are first teamers. And we've basically got to try and put together an 11 that can win. So I'm going to go, I think, as strong as possible. And I think looking at the team, I've probably got that already. So I'm just trying to work out where I can swap. Possibly Liam Smith in at right back. Other than that, I don't think there's much more I can do. Some of the stars are away at the moment. And that's making it a bit harder to predict. They're suggesting I switch Shankland and Clark, but I don't think it makes any difference. And Shankland is listed as better at the poacher role. I have made adjustments to the throw-ins, the set-piece takers for the throw-ins, because, although it's changed for this tactic, because I found that he was often drifting to right back to take them because he had the best long throw. But we're not taking long throws on the wings. So Liam Smith can go first there, Mitchell on the left. Then the backup left back is Jamie Robson. And the backup right back is... Where is he? Josh Clark. There we go. So let's leave it at that. aside from that, we're as strong as we can be. We are missing our top scorer. We're missing a couple of key midfielders, but we've got what we can. So hopefully we can get a result today as we get into the first half. 7 subs only for the League Cup, of course. And it's a decider to get through to the quarters. 9 changes from the 4-4 game and hopefully a better performance. Cheney, morning, welcome along. Appreciate you coming in. L Gaming, welcome to the Europa League, Craig. A few of you getting involved in that this morning. Just had the Scottish Cup draw in real life earlier this morning. Berwick away. Let's go and have a look at that Scottish Cup draw. Scottish Cup. See who's got who. Preliminary round 2 and first round draw. There we go. So, who have all of your teams got? And who have my Brechin City old team got? So, Brechin have got Glasgow University or Linlithgow Rose. And who have my current club got? Well, they won't be in it yet, will they? Because they're Championship now. I keep thinking of them as a League One side from FM. Well, it's not bad. Oh, Dundee Bluebell v Queen's Park. There's your TV tie of the round. Or Gala Fairy Dean Rovers v Annan Athletic. Yeah, Berwick Stirling. That's probably one of the more boring ties of the round, isn't it? That's a bit of a shame. It's not a bad draw aside from that. Oh, well, into the first half we go. Let's go and have a quick look at the team talk. We're going to pump the fist. We're going to tell them to prove a point, and we're going to get into the first half. Needs to be a big one, this. Thank you to everyone popping in as well. Appreciate you joining me on Sunday morning. If you haven't yet, please chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat. Who did your team play yesterday? How did they get on? And I'll try not to gloat too much about Luton being at Kenilworth Road again. And the performance that went with it. Because as soon as we've got fans back at home, we're a top-class side. It's been an even game so far. And that's not a bad thing. Because a draw suits us down to the ground. Look at the Group D. East Fife above Hibs. I know Hibs have got a game to play. But it's against Inverness. Certainly not a banker. As the ball's into Shankland. Loses out in the air. And this is where we have trouble. On the counter-attack. Ross County and the bigger side can cause a threat. As it's out to roll on the left-hand side. Chance to cross in. It's a good ball. Mitchell heads away. And now can we spring the counter? Glenn Ray into midfield today. Has covered in the fence a few times. Played brilliantly for Luton yesterday. Up to Bolton. Into Shankland. Chance to cross in. Goes over hit. Finds Sporrell at the back post. To Mitchell. Still got time on the ball. Finds Sporrell again. Lovely ball this time. Shankland volleys. I have no idea what the goalkeeper's positioning was. But it was an absolute treat of a finish. And we lead 1-0 and hopefully that will take us through. Macca only League 2 teams in it at this stage from the SPFL. So definitely no Arbroath. Arbroath beat Alloa yesterday, didn't they? I'm sure they won away 1-0. And Wrexham didn't have a game. Yeah, I saw theirs was postponed. I'm not quite sure why though. Oh, great save Segrist. 10 minutes to the break. Ross County coming back at us here. We definitely need to make sure we don't concede before the break or this could be tough. But we've had a few games like this and we always seem to find a way. So I'm just hoping we'll do the same again. Instructions to close down Danny Rowe. Which row is that? Is that the left winger or the striker? No, it's the left winger. I thought it might have been the old filed man, but it's not. Half time, no, we lead 1-0. Again, I know only one of them's playing today, but that front two combination keep providing the goals every single time. So a 1-0 lead at the break, a really good position to be in. And surely we can't throw it away from here. Don't forget, a draw's enough. As the ball's through to Mackay, Mitchell intercepts. Nearly scores an own goal with that back pass. Mengi with a 1-2. Segrist now long down the left. Sporrell flicks it onto Clark. Beats his man to it. And here's Clark's chance. He's got Shankland in the middle. Delivers for him. There you go. Just wide of the post. Probably had to score it in truth. It is what it is. Due to something I'm not sure I'm allowed to set on YouTube. I'm going to have to look it up then, aren't I? Wrexham. Let's have a look. Wrexham game postponed. I'm going to read the statement and then I'll deem whether it's appropriate. Macca, we beat Cowdenbeath 1-0 yesterday. Should have been 4 or 5. Win's the most important thing at this stage, isn't it? Oh, so it's just COVID protocols, isn't it, mainly? I know the reasons are a little bit bizarre, but yeah. No worries. It's one of those frustrations, isn't it? But it is what it is. It's still 1-1 here with 25 to go. Ross County looking the better in this half as Clark gets it wide to Sporrell. Chance to deliver. Gets it into the back stick. Lakin heads away and Bolton's picking it up. We're now in a position where if we concede one, we're out. And we've given it away in the middle there. Not a good pass from Glenray. And here comes Rowe. Down the centre of the pitch. Goes from distance. Easily dealt with. Let's go and make some changes. I have to remember to pause it in this first season so we don't use all the 5 subs up in separate intervals. I'm going to take off the right back. I'm going to take off the right winger. And I'm going to take off Matt O'Reilly for Jordan Houghton. Nicky Clark for Apere. That's 4 subs out of 5. We've got one more we can make later if we need to. Thank you for everyone popping in as well. Still in double figures. Great to have you all along. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat about your football team. Of course, we'll try and be wrapped up for 12 o'clock again as normal. We've got 5 games this morning. And it culminates with Hibs. But Rangers the big one after 4. They battered us last time. 5-0 I think it was. As Stewart's in and Ross County have the lead. And now we have got thinking to do. I'd like to take Ray off for Butcher. So that's what I'm going to do. But we're going out as it stands. It is not good at all. So let's go and demand a bit more. Because it's been a really poor second half. The performance has been woeful. We're going to go attacking. I don't know what else we can do though. We're missing one of the star strikers. For the first time we've looked susceptible defensively. And bar Rangers, we haven't looked that all season. So Ross County have snuck through in the League Cup. And we miss out on the quarterfinals. Now it's not helped by 2 of our best rated players being on international duty. But it wasn't a good collapse nonetheless. Oh, that's really, really annoying. I fancied a cup run this year. If we could have finished 4th in the league and nicked a cup result as well. Now it's the Scottish Cup to go at because we are out of the League Cup. Let's look at the 8 that got through. I just want to have a look at that Hibs tie. So they haven't played yet. For some reason. I'm not quite sure why. There's a couple of teams that haven't. Ayr got through against St Mirren. That's a good one. Stenhouse Muir are top of Group G. Livingston have got to win big to get through. And there's not really many other shocks. It's just a bit frustrating, isn't it? So 3 suggestions for the under-21s, basically, or the reserves, basically the people that couldn't get in our backup team for the 4-far game. Hibs smashed Hamilton 4-0 up to second. Yeah, playing really well this season, actually. If only Jack Ross was that good at Sunderland. No need to worry, they've got the right man now. Great to see Jack Diamond getting man of the match again as well. He's someone we highlighted on the podcast at Harrogate last year. He's a real top player. And I've no doubt he'll become a Premier League player in the future. So great to see him getting his chance at Sunderland. Great to see him taking it and getting man of the match. He's the creative force they need. And I know Aidan McGeady's been a great pro, but at the moment, I'd be picking Jack Diamond over him. Was Jack Ross not sacked while they were in the top 6? I don't think they were in the top 6 when he got sacked, but they were very close. A bit like Parkinson this season. You might still get through as the second place side. Oh, is it not quarterfinals then? So how does it work? I thought it was just the top 8 went through to the quarterfinal. Or the 8 group winners, sorry. But then I guess Celtic and Rangers aren't in there, so that can't be it. Let's look at the rules. Winners qualify for the that's second round rules. Group stages. So, the best 4 teams in second position qualify. So what we need to do then is look at our goals and goal difference compared to others. We're on 8 with a +4 goal difference. That's better than Elgin. That's better than Cove Rangers on goal difference. Hibs or Inverness. So basically whichever one of... If that's a draw, oh no, Hibs would still have better. So either way, one of those is going to be better. Falkirk, we're better than. Morton, we're better than. Stranraer, we're better than. And Partick, we're not. So I make it that we're going to be in those top 4 then. So we should be through to the 16s and get a reprieve. I thought that 4-far game was going to cost us for a minute. So I'm glad that's not the case. Thank you for everyone popping in as well. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Great to see you all here on a Sunday morning. We're still going strong with Dundee United. And Matty Pearson, one of Luton's heroes yesterday, still out with an injury. We'd love to get him back quick because we could do with another defender. Otherwise, it's not too bad though. We can't complain at where we are. There is no chance at the first international break. We thought we were going to be 3rd. we're well clear of 5th place, and it's suggesting here that 4th is still Europe. So I suppose we better go and check those rules as well. We have got a week and a half till the next game anyway. So according to the winner of the Scottish Cup, we are definitely going to be in Europe. That looks fantastic. It's just that we'll be in the Europa Conference qualifying round if we're there. If we finish 3rd, we might get in the Europa League playoffs. That's fantastic. So my hope is next season then, potentially we could go for Europa Conference football. Group stages, I mean. 12 go through plus the 4 teams playing in Europe. That makes sense. That's fantastic. That's a little boost we weren't expecting, to be honest. Mark McNulty scoring for Scotland. There you go. Few people mentioned that last time he played for them. But look at him there. He is absolutely flying. 5-0 win against Slovakia. And Mark McNulty contributes a goal. Only came on for 20 minutes as well. I've got a superstar there. We need to get him for next season, though. They're telling me to get a physio in. Is our team not full? I thought we had really good physios. So our head physio is good. Our normal physio is solid. Chief doctor, head of sports science. Yeah, so we've got a good enough team. We don't need to change that. It's a good start so far, though. We lost the game and we find out we're still getting through when we didn't expect it. I tell you what, that Mengi has trained best at the club every single week since we've been here pretty much. It's remarkable. I think Bolton might have had one. But otherwise, it's fantastic. Mackerel unrealistic. It does make sense, doesn't it? For some reason, the international break's over and we're not playing this week. I presume that's because of those League Cup ties and we were supposed to be playing maybe Hibs or someone like that, and that's why it's been reorganised. So any of those games midweek? No. That doesn't really make any sense. There you go. We've had our confirmation. We've qualified for the second round. So thank you for helping me through there. Appreciate that. Motherwell lost, so we stay 5 ahead. Arguably, that's the worst result for us. Because if St Johnstone had lost, they'd still be on 21. As it is, I don't think they'll catch us, but that closes the gap a bit. So maybe what we need to start doing is scouting this league and nicking the best players from other clubs. Because that could be our policy moving forward, particularly on free agent deals. Right, we've had a rearranged match, so what's this doing? The second round is next weekend. So we've now got St Johnstone this Saturday. Not the easiest tie in the world. We've then got Hamilton on Tuesday and Livingston on Friday. So we've got fixture congestion just because they didn't play the game this weekend, which I don't really get. And then why has Livingston been moved to a Friday night for TV? So we've then got 3 games in 5 days and then 8 days off. Oh, they don't help, do they, the schedulers, bless them. You can see why some complain. I mean, I'm not taking it from a Liverpool or that who have got a massive 25-man squad, but for clubs that haven't, it's a little bit of a pain in the backside. So any of these who need fitness, let's get them in there for 90 minutes. So that's added 3 more. What about Ryan Edwards too? And we should have McNulty back, which will be key. Looks like a good start though. Thank you to everyone popping in as well. Great to have you all here. Do appreciate you spending your Sunday with me. Lots of recordings to do after this as well, as we move up to the Christmas action. I've got to tell you, by the way, I know that the support since our last stream for the head coach has been mad because of the job change. If you're not up to date, I would advise doing so, because the next couple of episodes are bizarre. It's just one of those seasons that I don't think I've ever experienced before. So it's certainly one to keep your eye on this week, because it surprised me, and I'm sure it will you as well. But a very interesting season. Bangor City, it's a little bit interesting as well. There's some ups and downs to come. We thought we were on an upward trajectory, so it's certainly not the week I was expecting to have on the channel. I'm still trying to organise something little for the Christmas week. We've organised one for the podcast with some festive bites from our interviews with pros. But we're also trying to sort something out over here as well. So hopefully some news to come on that. But every day apart from Christmas Day and New Year's Day, we'll have our normal 2 series rotating at 3:30. So plenty to get your teeth sunk into, plenty to enjoy. And hopefully a good festive season for everyone, as we've got our pre-match press conference, and we've probably got to prioritise this game over Hamilton, because we're in a position where the cup's more important to us. If we can win a cup, we're a hero. Mark McNulty, see, they're happy to let him go, but he's worth £5 million. Can we extend that loan yet? Too soon. Have to get him on loan next season again, or we're in big trouble. Again, Mengi, the best trainer at the club. He's someone we'd love to get next year as well, but I think he's going to be rated too good. He'll improve so much that they won't be willing to send him here again. They'll think he's ready for Premier League football. And they'll probably be right, to be honest. Let's go and get our first 11 out for this one, and then we'll catch back up with the chat. Thank you all for coming in. As Jandro Fuchs will come into the 11, we're going to bring in Mark McNulty. And at right back, Josh Clark, I think. We've still only got 7 subs in this, of course, so I'm not quite sure how to go about that. Robson, Garbett, Smith. Pere's going to be replaced by Clark. And Glenn Ray's got to go on there somewhere. Might replace Butcher. He's probably the weakest of the lot on paper now. So let's take him out. I think that's the best squad we've got. I know Pearson's out injured, but aside from that, with everyone fit, that's all we can do. Dundee United v St Johnstone, home advantage we need to take advantage of. And we need to get through to the next round of the Cup. Macca, would make life easier at Bangor if the owner sold up. Oh, you're telling me it would be so much more simple. The club culture items, I know we managed to get one off recently, but it's so frustrating. Having things in that aren't even possible. I mean, the Italy one was just weird because with the work permit rules for Brexit, you couldn't do it. And now Argentina, we can't get work permits anyway. So it really doesn't make sense. How about a draft versus me or something? 10-0 to you for the entertainment. I don't think I would win 10-0. I've said before, it's something that I've sort of thought of later down the line. For if we do have to later go down the route of sort of... like, as I've always said to you, I'd like to make it part of my job one day. If we do have to go down the route of sort of a Patreon, a channel membership thing in the future, I'd like to make that one of the options to be a bit more community invested. Bangor the head coach this year. Both series great so far. I'm a big head coach fan, but still watch Bangor. You're all very kind. I would say of the two, probably the head coach has to be the lead this year because the drama it's had already, the stories it's had, the backstories it's had has been incredible. The Bangor series, the one thing that's probably disappointed me is how poor TNS have been. Because don't forget, in our Cliftonville save last year in FM20, as we've nearly gone behind there, and in our Dorking save as well, in both of those, TNS within 10-15 years were playing group stage football in the Europa Conference. And here, they're going down with a whimper. And that's something I've really struggled with. And I don't know if it's the presence of us being in the league, but they didn't even compete with like a semi-pro club, which really made me struggle. As we've gone behind for a Craig Conway goal, a former Dundee United hero. We're going to demand more, and we potentially here, I don't want to say it too soon, we look like we're starting to come into a run of bad form. Addy McNamara's playing well, and with a quarter of the game gone, we've not even had a shot, let alone on target. We've picked the ball up on the right here with Bolton, and we need our two front heroes to come to the rescue. Here is Luke Bolton surging down the right. Beats 2 men, gets it into the box. There's Sporrell, that's the goal! And you can whisper it quietly indeed, because it might not be the case. Okay, yeah, I was joking about that, but seriously, is the Wrexham Stockport happening? It looks like that's the most likely option at the moment. It will, as I said, there will be a network save regardless. But Wrexham Stockport, possibly, that's the main option at the moment. My worry is there's a couple of YouTubers doing Wrexham, so because of the takeover that has happened since we discussed all of this, obviously. But we'll see where it goes. We might have to toss a coin on a couple of options. We were thinking of doing one higher up, but if we did the championship, we probably wouldn't be able to decide who was going to be Luton of the two of us. But, you know, we'll definitely come up with something. But at the moment, Wrexham Stockport looks the most likely. And then you'll be supporting Craig, I guess. Matthew, morning, welcome along. Hi, mate, watching your head coach series inspired me to buy FM again after 5 years away, and I'm loving getting back into it. Appreciate the work you do. You're too kind. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. I'm glad you're able to get back into FM. I always like the head coach because, one, of the unpredictability, two, you always get a sacking or something bizarre somewhere. A Shankland nearly scores. It's just been cleared away. But the main thing for me is it makes it the most realistic challenge if you're not able to do the transfer work. You get those frustrations that you're sort of building your own difficulty level into the game, I guess. And we talked about it in the Discord the other day. The best example, as I have no idea how Xander Clark has saved that from McNulty, was the Chelsea in the late 2000s. Mourinho won back-to-back leagues. They wanted to cut the budget, and the director of football brought in the likes of Tal Ben Haim and Steve Sidwell. And it's very clear Mourinho didn't want them in. So it's not something that's completely unrealistic. I mean, look at the Billericay owner, wherever he's been at clubs, and just sign whatever players he's wanted. Do you think that the managers had much of a say in that? It's not. It's just getting whatever names you can. So it does certainly happen at various levels. Mackie, you're right. We're all Pat Nevin here. We're all Pat Nevin indeed. No Pat Nevin in Bangor, so that's a big minus. Janie, yeah, you've got that right. If we had Pat Nevin at Bangor, maybe any one club series in the future, we just appoint Pat Nevin somewhere in the club. Just write him in as an ambassador or something. As McNulty's down the left again here. Can we get ahead before the break? Into the box. Got to be a pen. Got to be a pen. No VAR here, so we're going straight to the spot. And Lauren Shankland steps up. I'll get to the chat again in a second. Let's see this penalty kick. Down the middle goes Shankland. 2-1 Dundee United. Good turnaround. And after the reprieve as a best place loser, we're getting through and it looks like the quarters are beckoning. We don't know if online saves even work yet, but I'm sure we'll find a way. And if it is broken, they'll have fixed it by the time we start. We've both got a week off in January to record it. There's only 2 and they are not the best, which I'm disappointed about. Oh, that's a shame. Well, we might be giving you some Wrexham, but it won't be me, of course, because I'll be on the Stockport side of the fence if we do. So if that's the series, that's definitely the confirmation. It will be Craig at Wrexham and me at Stockport County. So it'll be interesting. I'll be the underdog on my own channel to most people. If Shankland puts ones over the bar, I'll have to try and drag some Stockport fans in, so I'm not behind. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. In double figures throughout a Sunday morning's great. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Come and say hello as I try and force my way through to a cup quarter final. We're going to bring on Liam Smith at right back. In central midfield, it will be Houghton and Ray. Up front, McNulty off. The international ones have struggled a bit, actually. Nicky Clark on for him. And we'll leave the last sub 5 or 10 more minutes. I would be having Pearson in by now because Reynolds is starting to decline. But obviously that injury hasn't helped at all. So I don't know where the last sub's going to be. Sporrell struggling physically. So with 5 left, let's bring on Luke Garbett. We're going to close down Conway, the goal scorer. We're going to drop to balanced. And with 4 minutes of stoppage time incoming, we're going to go to the classic. The time wasting, the discipline. Slow the pace down. Regroup when we lose it. And just drop that defensive line a bit. That's exactly what we want. It's something Luton did really well yesterday, actually, at Kenilworth Road. And it's the sort of thing you miss when you're watching them on the streams. It's just how well they timed the press. They waited till they had everyone in position. They were dropping off and then they just went forward like a hawk as I got nearly distracted there by a fantastic strike by Craig Bryson. Hit the woodwork and we survive it. But yeah, Luton, they just picked their moments, pressed as a team. The keeper's distribution for Preston, Declan Rudd, was not good. As Nicky Clark's in, it's a good save by Xander Clark. And it looks like we're going to get through. Come on, Craig, then. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to be supported on my own channel. He'll probably... Do you know what, El Gamer? He just plays... It doesn't matter what team he is. He plays long ball football. He time wastes at 1-0 up. He'll have it down to a T. Don't you worry about that. You'll play the worst football ever, but you'll probably go up via the playoffs or get promoted. Cole's asked a good question. For anyone who doesn't know, in the Discord server, because most of us has ended up in Scotland this year, there's a balloon up for grabs for whoever wins. A metaphorical balloon, I believe, for whoever wins the SPL first. It's certainly not going to be Dundee United here this year, but we are going to be top 3, I think. So it looks like the head coach is going to be my main bet, and we better get a move on, because we're still in League 1. So let's start the press conference. I mean, we're pretty happy. It doesn't matter if we're vintage at the moment. We're getting through by the odd goal. We're into the quarter-final. I don't know when that game is. We've got 3 more this morning against Hamilton, Livingston and Rangers. We'll have to leave the Hibs one now. It's been moved. And then we'll be starting, so the next episode could be a cracker. The quarter-final of the Cup, Hibs, Kilmarnock and Motherwell over Christmas, and then Celtic away before the new year. Then January transfer window for the following episode. It's a good little season, isn't it? Obviously, this one will be slightly longer because we're not in Europe. We had the intro at the start, but then we'll be in Europe next year, hopefully. So we'll see. I don't want to make anyone available for the reserves now because we've got a busy spell coming up. But we have got the quarter-final draw, and Rangers and Celtic are there. So let's see if we can avoid the old firm. Anyone else I'd fancy my chances against? Hibs v Motherwell. So one of the bigger teams going out. Please draw Celtic, Rangers. Rangers have got Hamilton. East 5-4 Celtic against Ayr, which means we are unfortunately away to Ross County or Aberdeen. It's a bit annoying that, because if that had been at home, I'd have fancied us. But we could be playing Ross County again. They've beaten us already in this competition. We've got some contracts expiring. Nathan Cooney has massive potential. Well, let's get him a deal then, shall we? He looks a prospect. He wants a bit of money, but, you know, so he should. He looks a good player. He's going to be worth a bit. Let's get all these extra clauses out. We like to have certainty what our budget's going to be. Whatever we spend now is what it will remain. Let's go down to 1,000 there. Let's drop these a little bit. But otherwise, there you go. He's happy. So another one of the youngsters look like they're getting tied down. From the first team, it's probably only Nicky Clark I'll keep. He's not really got the legs anymore. But as a fourth choice, he's not bad at all. So should we see if he'll take a same wage or lower. But then he wants to be an important player. And he's just not really. No, I can't do that, Nicky. I can't do it. So we'll leave that for now. East Fife v Celtic. Can we have a big shock in the cup even? Dylan, good morning. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to have so many of you along. Great to see all the regulars and the new folk coming in. As I tell you what, East Fife got close. But in the end, it was Mikey Johnston, the youngster, and Turnbull, the big money man from Motherwell. He's not rated very well physically there, is he? Is that accurate? I don't know. I suppose he didn't play much for Motherwell and then he got sold for big money, didn't he? But that's currently the common world of football, isn't it? I just saw a comment about Kasenga Loa there, so we're going to have a look at Luton. Of course, they regrouped a bit this summer because they sold 2 players to us. They had George Moncur on the transfer list as well, so I wonder if he left. And let's compare them. Not far off their 11th place in real life. See if James Collins is getting hat-tricks here. 6 in 14. He's not doing bad. He's wanted by Derby. Wow. Who else is in there? Oh, I keep forgetting they sold Sluga, didn't they? Sam Nombe's there. He did alright for us yesterday when he came on. Looks like he's got good feet. It's not a bad little squad. Let's have a look at their schedule. I just want to see how they're getting on. Because obviously the fixtures are the same here. So they've got Preston in 4 days' time. So 4 games' time. So we'll see how that one goes. But otherwise, 4 unbeaten. 1 away at Cardiff where they got battered in real life. Looks good, doesn't it? Mackie, yeah, Turnbull's exactly like that in real life. Great talent but poor physically. That's fair enough then. Good job the researchers have got it spot on. Gerard responds to transfer talk. Apparently we said we're interested in signing Harley Ewan. 16-year-old centre-half. Oh, I'm not that interested. I've got better ones at the club. And they've played in a few of the group games. Kai Fotheringham in the reserve squad still. Just struggling physically because of his injury. It's a broken lower arm though. So surely he shouldn't have stopped running or anything. Does seem a bit weird that. The finances are a problem. Now, if I remember rightly, the finances were quite good here. They were. They're dipping quite a lot. I know the prize money's good and the TV money will be alright. But I guess Europe is going to be key to this series, isn't it? It looks like we're going to be back in the top 4. And if we can assure that, I think then we'll be alright and financially set for the series. It only needs a couple of qualifying rounds. It's 400 grand, isn't it? And it does the job for you. But we're at home to Hamilton now, the game in hand. We might have a few that are tired, so Bolton and Sporrell will have to come out. And that means that the wingers for today will be Clark moving forward to right midfield with Liam Smith at right back. And this is the bit we haven't done much this year. We haven't been forced into changes. We're going to bring Garbutt in on the left wing. On the bench, we'll have basically anyone who's fit. So Butcher, he'll go on the bench. We've got Edwards a centre half. We've got McMullen a right winger and a Pereira a striker. Everyone bar the keeper. Just seeing if there's anyone else I want to rotate, because O'Reilly's not been great and Houghton is rated slightly better if anything. And this might be the game to do that, but O'Reilly's match fit and we don't want to make too many changes at once. So I'm going to bottle it again there. And the rest of the team remains the same. Just the two wingers that are changed as we try and keep everyone fresh enough. Dylan, yeah, I think that's right. He got an injury and his move to Celtic was delayed. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Lee Hodson starting for Hamilton. Former Rangers man. So, Hamilton not having a good season, really. They're down in 11th. They've got 10 points from 15. They're playing a narrow diamond, though. The Bangor City tactic in use there. And that's something that's a little bit surprising. We don't see it too often. We play with width normally, so I'm hoping we'll get on top. And it looks like we've got a free kick on the left here. It's Garbutt who's going to take it. Into the back stick. Down to O'Reilly to Shankland. Hits the crossbar. Back out to Garbutt on the left. Good delivery of the ball he's got. And now he's picked up a knock. A bruised ankle. Not coming off for that just yet. But it's not what we've wanted with the backup wingers in. So then pick up injuries. It's been a really poor game so far though. We're going to demand a bit more. We're certainly not in vintage form. I can tell you that much. Thank you to everyone joining along as well. Great to stay in double figures throughout a Sunday morning. Please do come and get involved in the chat. Chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. As we've got the ball into McNulty. Oh, it drops off the defender. Shankland couldn't get there to the rebound. Unfortunately, it remains 0-0. 15 to the break. Garbutt is struggling a little bit. We don't look like we've got that same movement, the same fizz that we normally do. We have pressed well there to force it back to the keeper. And O'Malley's got time. I'm hoping his clearance will be poor and we'll be able to spring a counter. But it's quite the opposite by the looks. Reynolds has lost out. And in fact, it's a brilliant save by Seagreast. It's the only reason we're not behind. And it's a fantastic save by our number one. I'd argue Hamilton have been a better side here. We've really struggled with the narrow diamond. We've not been great defending set pieces. And we've not caused a huge threat attacking them. Not the performance we were expecting today. 5 minutes to the break. It remains 0-0. And Hamilton are on the front foot again. Though Mark Reynolds nicks it. Clears downfield. They only need 2 chances, the front two. And they'll probably bag you a goal. As Henderson gets it. 1-2 with the centre midfielder. Out to the right to Hodson. We mentioned him pre-match. And it's free up in the box as well. They really are throwing men forward here. Down to Henderson. It's a great save again. Oh, our keeper is keeping us in this. Because we have been poor. What a performance it's been by the number one. Mengi heads the corner away. Now can we counter? McNulty chases. We don't get to see it. But that is one of the worst first halves we've produced all season. I'm really disappointed by that. So we're going to point a finger. We're going to tell them to prove a point. O'Reilly looks apprehensive. I'm going to take him off straight away. Houghton on for him. I'm going to take Reynolds off as well for Glenn Ray. Just to try and get someone a bit more imposing in there. I know Ryan Edwards is good, but he's very slow. And that worries me in this sort of game. And then Garbutt seems to be affected. It says seems unaffected. So let's just leave him on for 10. He's not been bad. He's been the best player, if anything. See if we can get a result. Are you doing the bottom table Christmas challenge on FM? I was going to, in truth. Thank you for everyone popping in as well. I was planning to do it. But it looks like one of the biggest YouTubers has got there first. And I'll probably get dwarfed in the searches if I do that. So I might do something different this year. I did it a couple of years ago in Newcastle and it did do alright. But at that point I was the first one to get there. But this year someone started 3 weeks early. So I think we'll probably do one of the different challenges. But I'd like to do something from FM Touch. Because just over Christmas week it gives a bit of extra time and extra content to people who maybe haven't got, you know, particularly this Christmas where a few people are a bit lonelier than normal. Hopefully gives them something to enjoy. So we've got Shankland to take a penalty again as we've been gifted a chance to get the lead here. And we need Lawrence Shankland to be reliable. Here he comes, right-footed. Scored one in the last game. Oh, he scores one in this game as well. O'Malley will be gutted to let that in. He got a very strong hand to it. But Shankland is overtaking McNulty now, and he is becoming the star of the show. I'm going to drop to a balanced mentality because Hamilton playing naturally down the middle is causing us trouble. I'm going to make a sub with Garbett. He's going to be replaced by Logan Chalmers. And we'll save the last two as Shankland picks it up from a goal kick. Very strange bobbling around there. Deflects all the way back to O'Malley in the end. His ball over the top. They've got a 3-on-2 there. It's a brilliant goal by Andrew Winter. What a finish that is. And every time you make a change, keep an eye on it. Am I just superstitious? If you make a change during a highlight, you always end up conceding. Seems to happen so regularly. We've got a throw on the right, and then we'll look at what else we can do. We're going to go back to positive for a start. As Fuchs gets it in the middle, crosses to McNulty. He loses out in the air, and now the counter's on again. I'm going to cancel that tactical change, because we know what it leads to. As Josh Clark nicks it. Pits it into Shankland. He's one-on-one. Has to score and does. I thought he looked just offside, but nothing given. And a result, we win. What a fantastic moment. We're going to be 2-1 up. Thank you for the extra thumbs up and the extra views as well. Great to have you all in. Sean Water Hamilton there. A stalwart at the back in my Sterling saving FM20. I'll have to take a look at him then. Great surname, Want as well. Here's Mengi on the right wing. Chance to get the ball forward. Finds Houghton. Over the top, Hamilton heads away. No one's attacking the ball. McNulty gets back and gets there. Finds Shankland and Fuchs and Clark and Shankland. Hat-trick's on. Oh, it's a good save, O'Malley this time. I'm going to look for other changes in a minute because Fuchs is struggling mentally. He seems to be a bit apprehensive. Haven't really got many other options. Probably have to bring Butcher on in there. And I'm not going to have him as a box-to-box. I'm going to have him as a ball winner. Now, I'm pretty sure half-time doesn't count as a tactical time to make changes. So we should then be able to bring on Nicky Clark as well. 5 minutes to go. We're going to stick with it. There's no way Mengi's coming off. As we get towards 6 minutes of stoppage time. Let's defend this corner and then we'll think about time wasting. As again the keeper comes and claims it. He has been absolutely superb. Great performance from the number one. We were looking at James Shea at Luton as well. Just wanted the Luton's backup team, basically. But Segrist is definitely our number one for now. Here's the attacking midfielder to a Doffin. He's a good player as well. I noticed that name. Up to centre midfield, to Collar, to Menga. Out to the right-hand side, to Winter, to a Doffin. He's got a time on the right-hand side. Chance to cross, back to Collar. He goes for the shot. Oh, he's hit the post and the rebound's in. Oh, no, not in a 92nd minute. What is it with Hamilton Academical, sorry. They beat us the first time. They've nicked a point away now. We just can't beat Hamilton. I think we've got a bogey side, everyone. I thought we were going to put it to pay there. But, I mean, that's not a fantastic run going. I mean, it's good in the context of a game every 3 days. Luke Garber out a couple of days. 6 unbeaten for us in the league. And we're enjoying life. And we are up to second with the extra game played. However, Hamilton, they beat us away 2-1. And now when we're at home, we've been held to a 2-2 draw. And they've only got 10 points all season. And 2 of them are against us. Or 4 of them are against us, sorry. That means in 13 other games, they've picked up 6 points. So we've definitely got a bogey side there. Okay, I had a break back to icon swaps. I always used to be like that with games that frustrated me, as I had to have a half an hour walk away from it. Good to see I wasn't the only one. Thank you for everyone popping in as well. We're almost at double figures for likes, so if you haven't yet, please chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make a difference. If you've missed any of it, there'll be a full replay afterwards, so hopefully you'll be able to see all the ups and downs here. We've got 2 games left this morning. Rangers are the second of them. But the first one is Livingston away, and that's in just 3 days' time. So that's going to be a slightly more difficult one. Livingston high flying this year so far. And there we are. We'll do the best we can with it. I'm still watching the stream. This might help me if I lose. I'll keep a bit of calmness there. Let's have a look at the scouts that are being suggested to us. Any chance to improve the backroom team is a welcome one at this point as well. As Livingston away is the next game. So there's the pre-match press conference. I'm really worried here because the performances this morning have probably been the worst we've seen. The St Johnstone game we were lucky. Ross County we were poor. Even the Forfar one off camera wasn't great. So it's sort of 4 average performances in a row. You can see the club atmosphere's dropping. The managerial support stayed average. The team cohesion's gone down. And I don't really get why. Because we're not doing anything differently. First one, 1-0 rage quit, 5 to go. That's the thing that used to put me off FIFA is if you ever went 2-0 up, you just ended up not being able to finish the game. What used to frustrate me is there's too many frustrated children on there who don't like, although a lot of them are adults to be fair, that don't like losing or can't take it. I used to wind them up at 2-0. Even if it was 10 minutes in, just go to the corner flag and keep it there and win free kicks. Then they'd slide tackle, you'd get 3 or 4 red cards and you'd have a lovely day. Right, we've got our recruitment meeting ahead of January. So I guess the big question here is where do we want to improve the team? I mean, they're going to suggest positions where loans are expiring. I know that. But we've got to think realistically for us. I think right back, possibly right mid, because Bolton's the one that we might not be able to keep. And then maybe, I was going to say still centre mid, because we're still struggling in there a bit. Let's see what they've suggested. Right mid. Centre half, I guess because Mark Reynolds is getting older. Centre forward because of Nicky Clark, that's fair enough. Left wing, we've got Sporrell and Garbett, but Garbett's out in January. We were looking at that Michael Duffy, that's why. So I'd like to add right back on there, but I don't think we've got enough scouts to do that. So let's get started. Who have we got in right midfield? Roy McKenzie is rated 3 stars, so at 27 we're not going to sign him. Grant Ward from Blackpool, let's scout him. Joe Ward from Peterborough, let's scout him. I think we've got a bit stuck there. We don't need to do a focus because we've got a couple more getting scouted anyway. Let's move on to centre half. I mean, Mengi's the big one. We've got to keep him next year in Europe. Charlie Good from Brentford. Wasn't he the one that was at Northampton? He was. Got the big move to Brentford. He's doing all right there, but he doesn't want big money. Unfortunately, he's on his estimated cost is a bit much. So unless he's loan listed, we probably can't have him. Kerr from St Johnstone. That would be a good one. 17-year-old Liam Morrison at Bayern Munich. Okay, we'll have a look at him. Young centre-half at Norwich. I've seen his name before. He's a good youngster. We don't really want a 30-year-old on 25 grand a week. But that position's not the priority. Let's look at the strikers. Ross Stewart from Ross County. Doesn't really suit our tactics so much. Eamon Brophy from Kilmarnock. He's the one we were looking at. He's a good player. I think he'd be my first choice, to be honest. Anthony Stokes is just past his best. Patrick Schmidt of Barnsley will scout. Omatoy at Norwich, good player, will scout him. Jason Cummins, former Luton player at Shrewsbury. Jordan Rhodes is on 35 grand a week, so no thank you. And let's have a look at the other positions. Otterbour's there. I forgot he's out of contract in a week or two, isn't he? Joe, thank you for popping in. I won't mention the Preston game now, I'm sorry. A big shoot up in viewers. Thank you for all coming in. I do appreciate it. We're just 1 thumbs up away from double figures, so if you haven't yet, please do chuck one on there. I'm sure you don't want to talk about the game yesterday, and luckily, because you've come in about 45 minutes in, you've probably missed most of it. But it was very bizarre, I must say. L Gaming, I did 2 last night, 250k, got nothing. It's very frustrating because it's random. I used to just do the normal standard goal packs because it was easier. And you used to get surprises anyway. Yeah, all leave at 2-0. That's it. That's one of the best new features in the game, in my opinion. I completely agree. I tell you the thing, Macca, that impressed me most is Charlie on the podcast. He spoke to the Linfield chairman a week and a half ago. It came out on Friday. And he asked him questions about how recruitment happens. And he explained the process. And I kid you not, how he explained the recruitment meeting is almost identical to how this runs. And I was so impressed with it. Like, talking about the people in the room, it was the chairman, it was the head of football or director of football operations, whoever's in that sort of position. And so they've got Pat Fenlon, the former Hibs manager. He's their head of football. So he's in there. They've got David Healy, the manager. They have one of the scouting members in there and then one of the other directors who votes on transfer stuff too. And that's the 5 of them in the meeting. So this is so close to that. It's incredible. It's really good detail and it's perfectly realistic. So we might have a former hero turning up because Otterbor's popped up. And he's not a bad right and left winger. So he's there as an option. George Moncur we could go back in for. He can play left or right. James McLean's on too big a wage. There's a youngster from Spurs who I think I had on loan at Stevenage in the head coach FM19, if I remember rightly. Let's move on. Michael Dougherty is being suggested. He's still a free agent. Why? He's such a good player. We can have a look at him. Ryan Wintle from Crewe. Vashon Neuville. I mean, we can add him to the shortlist. He's all right. Craig Forsyth's a bit past it. Jack Hunt, I think he's on too much money. I mean, if he wants to come for a lot less, we'll have him. Jack Grimmer at Wycombe, that could be a right-back solution. Not a bad player at all. Patrick Rakowski, not a name I recognise, but looks good. If we can get the deal done before Brexit as well. Frank Fielding, 32 at Millwall, will scout him too. And then let's move on to right-back. Oh, he's not got enough scout reports left. There you go. I thought that might be the case. But Livingston away next, that's the big one. Joe, never happened, didn't exist. Thank you for the extra thumbs up, by the way. I do appreciate it. Almost up to 20 viewers now. Almost back up to the first couple of streams. I've got to say, Joe, and I said this earlier on, the first 20 minutes before we scored that first goal, Preston were utterly dominant. You didn't have any clear-cut chances, but a couple of half chances. Jayden Stockley, I mean, what really annoys me about Jayden Stockley is he sort of, with the, I don't know if it was the sort of adrenaline of playing a former club, he sort of turned into the player he was at Luton, which is why we didn't like him. He just became this sort of, instead of focusing on being a target man, he's actually got good feet, he's strong in the air, he's solid. He was more worried about throwing his arms about and trying to get the better of a former player, a former teammate or whatever. And that I found a little bit difficult. So I'm not sure why he was focused that way. It was very clear away from home why you're so strong. Because with him, with Brad Potts in behind, they're taller than most centre-half partnerships at that level. They're such a threat in the air. But obviously we've got Sonny Bradley who just sort of had it for breakfast. And Tom Lockyer's a Welsh international centre-half. And that's the improvement we've made this year. The thing that worried me from Preston, honestly, was after that first goal, I've never seen such a quick collapse in confidence. That was the real worry for me. I'm hoping that that's just a temporary thing, but looking at some of the recent performances, and with the away form going now as well, I do worry for Alex Neil. I've always thought he was a good manager, but he looked deflated on the sideline. There was a couple of clips in the Nathan Jones post-match press conference on the Luton YouTube where he's walking past, and he's just sort of trudging. He doesn't look happy. Doughty was great for me at Sterling this year. 1-2 in Game 1-2 in a row. Good days. Macquarie's just moved to TNS in this save. See, why can't in a Bangor save? Why can't TNS sign him in that sort of save? That's what I don't get. That's what frustrates me. He's in every other save. I see these nations making good signings and these clubs within them. And it doesn't happen in the ones when I'm managing there. Paddy, I'm here just before the Rangers game, hoping for them to score less than 3. Well, we let in 5 against them, didn't we? And we've got them after this. So it could be our last game before kickoff. Will be Dundee United versus Rangers. We've got a few tired legs. Mengi's one of them, but he's going to play. We've got 8 days off after this. So, or 9 days off in fact. Josh Clark replaced again by Bolton. We can get the first choice wingers back in. Sporrell there too. Pearson almost back to fitness, so we could play him in the Rangers game perhaps. Mitchell at left back's tired. I don't really want to bring in young Robson, but he'll be on the bench if needed. Josh Clark will still go on the bench for a Pere. Or even McMullen actually, because he's the right winger. And that's it. I'm trying not to change too much. Who played the best out of Smith and Clark last game? Oh, Smith played well. We'll leave him in there. So 2 changes again. Just the wingers getting swapped back. But this time it's Smith staying in at right back rather than Clark. Alan Forrest, a name I recognise there for Livingston, as is Scott Pittman. Jason Holt, a former Rangers man. Jack Fitzwater, he was at West Brom, I think. Nicky Devlin was at Hamilton. There's a fair few good names in there. So let's get the lads to show what they can do. really need to get a result here. We need to keep... What we really need is a performance, because we haven't had one in a little while. It is quite difficult. Joe, yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre one. It really is. I'll come back to that in a second. Dylan, have you heard about Birmingham closing their academy from under 9s to 18s? Yeah. They're sort of replacing it with something different that's not quite the same. It's a bit of a cost-cutting measure, basically, without as much support. It is a shame, but Dylan, it'll be the first of many. Or it's not the first of many, because a few others have got rid of their... I think we spoke to Gary McSheffrey on the podcast, and he was at Doncaster's under 23s, and they got closed down because they couldn't afford to run an under 18 and an under 23 side. So some are going for the 23 side, some are going for younger players. It's going to be one of the biggest knock-on effects of this. Is ironically the Brexit deals. The one thing it's going to affect in football is that young British talent could get a chance, and then the young British talent isn't going to be there because lots of teams are cutting their academies. It's a very strange and ironic turn of events. 0-0 at half-time, another woeful game actually. I'm not quite sure how we've got into this little rut suddenly. Carl, if you suffer from insomnia, I recommend watching Derby-Stoke match from yesterday. Insomnia, it may have cured, but it also got me 3 points because I nailed it on the podcast. I said it'd be 0-0. I've got both of Derby's last two, actually. 0-0. I guess I've got a pretty safe bet with them. Joe, we beat Bournemouth 3-2 and Middlesbrough 3-0. We can't beat Luton. The problem for me was the confidence when you let in a goal. The claps were scary. I mean, Luton were very good. They smelt blood. They were pressing excellently. They were timing it well. But there were some worrying things there. I mean, like Declan Rudd, a good goalkeeper. His distribution over that 90 minutes is the worst I've ever seen over a whole game from a professional goalkeeper. I mean, half of them were out of play. Half of them were dragged along the floor. Gave away possession multiple times. Didn't look comfortable when a man came to close down. It was just really weird. I didn't know how to explain it because they were so good for 20 minutes. The home and away thing this season is bizarre. A bit like Luton's, it probably will flip now as fans gradually come back in. But yeah, there was a lot to be concerned about. I don't know that Neil's going to survive this run if it goes on much longer. But there's always that result that makes you think, oh, there's something round the corner here. And that's, I think, what's keeping them holding on. And he's a good manager. It's just something's not gone right this summer. On the right wing, we are going to bring on Josh Clark. On the left back, we are going to bring on Jamie Robson. And up front, McNulty's in a bit of a goal drought now. So Nicky Clark's on for him. We'll make some more subs a bit later on. So in the holding role, we'll bring on Houghton as Sporrell picks it up on the left. I've got to keep one sub spare for Mengi in case he completely runs out of fitness. As Clark goes back to O'Reilly, to Shanklin, to Fuchs, to O'Reilly, to Clark. Fuchs, through to Shanklin, this is the chance, there's the goal. And every time you have a tactical change pending, there is a goal at one end. I promise you it. Game, I'm going for the 585 plus player packs, which I'm close to. See, it's too much stress for me, that sort of stuff. I like the more casual side of gaming, as this is. Macca, one of the things I like about watching others play FM is when you spot players you've had at other saves, particularly when it's been great. Absolutely. That's the sort of thing I always enjoy. And even in other saves now when I watch them, I don't watch as many as I used to, obviously, because I'm busy making this and the podcast content. But it is something I do really enjoy. Sporrell and Fuchs are tired, so which one are we going to take off? On the left wing, we could bring on Chalmers. In the middle, we could bring on Glenn Ray. So I think I'm going to go for Ray in centre midfield. 12 minutes to go. I could have taken him on for a striker, actually, and gone 4-3-3. But as it is, we're not really under any threat. We've got a minute and a half plus stoppages. This would be a lovely time to get a second. And Nicky Clark has done just that. Doesn't score many off the bench. Hasn't got that pace in behind anymore. But is absolutely fantastic with the ball at his feet. And we're about to warm up for the 12 o'clock kickoff between Dundee United and Rangers with our own tie of that effect. It's a 2-0 lead for Dundee United. We're back in form with that one. The lads are happy. We're happy. And we're second as it stands. So Celtic not played yet again. And they've got 2 in hand now. Their first is on Sunday at home to St Johnstone. And if they win that, that basically guarantees a third, sorry. Third or fourth at least. So we're definitely going to have European football next year. We're definitely in the top 6. I mean, what a start it's been. McNulty and Shanklin are the 2 top scorers in the league, both above Edouard. I know he might overtake one or both once they played the extra 2 games. But we couldn't have asked for a much better start, really. Hadji's got the best rating in the league. He's a fantastic player in this game. It's looking very good. And actually, I've just realised when we get to the Rangers game, it's the same one, isn't it? 13th of December. So we're getting to today. We will finish with the game date. And it will be almost our prediction for how Rangers v Dundee United's going to go. There you go. It's a nice bit of correlation there towards the end. It's the only time I'll have it in the series, of course. So we'll make the most of it. But a fantastic start to the season. We've got to be happy. L Gaming, please, after the game, check Wrexham. I will do. Porky Pig, welcome along. Thank you for joining in. Lovely to see plenty of the regulars in this morning. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It does make such a difference. There's a full replay available afterwards. What I'll do, L Gaming, I'll wait till after these games because I presume Wrexham will be a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff unless they're still in the FA Cup. And then you'll get an extra game to judge it properly. And I want to see if Celtic beat St Johnstone as well because we kind of need that. 3rd would be ideal for us. I was just seeing, did Motherwell play there? They did. They lost to Hibs. So now it's starting to look like 3rd. And if that gives us Europa League qualifying, gives us a much better chance in the conference then. They were 7 unbeaten at home before that as well. And apart from Hamilton being the bogey side and the toughness against the old firm, we are staying pretty consistent. And that's something I didn't expect we'd be able to do. So I'm pretty proud of that. So let's see how the 2 clubs get on. We'll then go and have a look at Wrexham. And then we'll skip through to the last game of the morning, which is the game that is taking place today in real life in 28 minutes. And we'll be polishing off just before. So Rangers were held by Ross County. Celtic beat St Johnstone. It's a very tight title race up there. And now we've got Rangers on the 13th of December. We're getting to real life game day and we're going to overlap. Is Craig crying after United going back to where they should be? I think he's more annoyed his Saturday team lost yesterday. And they played against 10 men for 89 minutes. So I think he's more unhappy about that at the moment. Let's go and have a look at Wrexham. What he's probably doing is researching how many 1-1s he can get away with in the championship predictions today. Because we'll be recording that a bit later on. Wrexham are 17th. It doesn't look good. 14 played, 16 points. Chesterfield down there as well. Definitely the big underachievers. I wonder if he must be in trouble, Dean Keats. He wouldn't be able to get away with that, I'm sure. All the other big suspects are up there. Notts County 2nd, Halifax playoff contenders, Dagenham. We predicted in real life, they're right down the bottom now. Stockport, Yeovil, Boreham Woods, they're all up there. Barnet struggling there, but they had 3 games in hand, so we can't take too much into that. So let's just get ahead to Rangers now. What channel Rangers Dundee on? I think all the Scottish Premiership games are on Sky this year. Sack him. In-game you can. I think every game is on Sky today. I haven't really got much to watch. Let's have a look. Yeah, and it's not even on the main channel because of Southampton, Sheffield United. So I've got Bologna v Roma at 2 o'clock on Free Sports. So that's one I can watch. Women's Super League on BBC Red Button. That's every Sunday lunchtime now. And what else? All 4 Premier Leagues are on Sky, and then there's one on Amazon at 7. There's a Polish game and 2 Brazilian games on Free Sports as well. So I'll tell you what I'll probably be doing, apart from the Italian game, is I will be watching the snooker final between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Selby. Because my other half's a snooker fan as well, so she will watch that with me. Whereas she complains if the football's on. So it's an easy way for me to get away with it and watch something good. I did watch the Big Bash this morning as well. When I left things, Melbourne Renegades were in an awful situation. They were 4 for 29, I think. Chasing 200 and something. So I don't think they were going to come back from that. Elgame, did you get my Instagram message last night? I didn't. I saw the comment and the follow, but there was nothing else on there that I could see. Though I can't profess to have worked it out just yet. So it is possible that I have just not looked right. So these players that we've been recommended to scout aren't that good. Joe Ward is alright, 3-star, but I wouldn't really want that to be my significant upgrade. Most of the others are either ones for the future or pretty average. Jason Cummins is suggested. Had a good spell at Hibs, didn't he? But then has flattered to deceive elsewhere. Had one great game for Luton. But he's got the reputation of being a bit of a wild man, hasn't he? Not sure he's the right man. I'm not sure he'll be happy with being a sub either. Dougherty's not good enough. The rest of them, there's one, but he wants loaded. He's worth $500,000. We can't afford that. We're in debt here. Jack Hunt wants too much wage. Rakowski as a keeper might be a good solution, because he looks like a very good one. Not quite as good as Segrist, I don't think. But good enough to be our backup. A replacement for Mehmet long term. If he's happy to join as a backup, Rakowski could be our man. Let's go and have a look at him. He wants to be important. Shall I see if I can get him on trial and we can gradually work him down over the month? We'll see how it works out. And the last one was fielding, not good enough. So not great there actually. We've got Rakowski on trial. Ted Mengi is still the best trainer at the club despite being exhausted. He's such a talent, that kid. We still can't extend the loan yet. And we finish with today's game in real life. Dundee United v Rangers. Can we get a better result than Dundee United get in real life? That is the big question. And if there's any Dundee United fans here, is the gaffer out of quarantine yet? Mickey Mellon. Yeah, Macca, looking forward to the snooker final today. Should be an absolute cracker. If you want, I'll tell you how to look on a Discord. Appreciated. Oh, we're into the 20s for figures. Thank you for coming along and watching. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't. Aidan completely bunged up this morning. Tested negative, but still one of my worst colds. Well, that's the problem this year. On a genuine note, is that our immune systems are all probably a bit weaker because we've not been picking up little colds and things throughout the year. It's like working in a doctor's surgery. We used to have one all winter. You'd just live with a cold, but they'll probably hit us a bit worse this year because we've been so protected from illness. You know, because the mask, it doesn't just protect you from that, does it? It protects you from a cold. It protects you from picking up the flu. The hand sanitising, people are washing their hands more than ever, you know. So it is going to make a change on that front as well. But unfortunately, it does mean when you do occasionally get it, as much as you're not passing it on more like you would before, it is a bit of a pain in the backside to deal with. Right, here we are. We have met real life time. In literally 22 minutes, this game will be taking place in real life. And at the moment, we are taking place here. I'm going to set the reserves. Have we got midweek game? We have, haven't we? It's the Cup quarter final. I'm almost tempted to rest players for this because of the quarters. But technically, we are in the title race at the moment. And at home to Celtic, we won, although Rangers battered us on the road. It's tough to judge, isn't it? I think we're going to go for the same 11, the same 18 or the same 20. What is the point in changing a winning team? Let's do it. Dundee United v Rangers. What do you think the score will be in real life? And what do you think the score will be here? We'll see who does better. Mickey is back, but the assistant manager is still isolating. Yeah, because Mickey will be 10 because he was positive, wasn't he? And the rest will be 14 days. Yeah, that's it, Aidan. It's been the biggest change this year. It's that, you know, our immune systems haven't had us... Normally we're picking up things and fighting them all year, which we're not doing at the moment. It does mean that we've been a bit quieter on the cold and flu front. Unfortunately, we're busier on every other front, which doesn't help. And obviously, it's going to be a very big week next week. So, in the comments to videos, I might be a bit slow responding. But given the national news of my work setting, please do bear with me. Yeah, that's it. You've probably been ill less often. So most of the time we feel great because we haven't been picking things up this year. But when you do feel it, it knocks you for six, doesn't it? Like this year's the first time I've had like a stomach bug for 10 years or whatever. As Connor Goldson has put Rangers ahead within 15. Oh, they're looking pretty much as ominous as they are in real life. I wonder if they got through in Europe. We'll have to go and have a little look at that. I mean, they've signed Cedric from Arsenal, which tells you the quality they're working with. And he's been a backup for them. Let's have a look at their European run if we can. They are Oh, wow. They went out in the qualifying rounds. What on earth happened there? They went out in the second qualifier to Gothenburg. So what are Celtic doing? I mean, as the champions, they will have had an easier path. They went into the Europa League group stages. I don't really understand how they went. Oh, they went out of the Champions League to Maccabi Tel Aviv. They then won in the Europa League qualifier. In the group, they've won 3 games and drawn 2. That must have got them through. They have. They won the group as well. Have they had the draw yet? No. So in Europe, it's role reversal to real life. In the Scottish Premiership, I know Celtic haven't been as weak. And to be fair, Celtic are actually the best side here, aren't they? If they win their 2 games in hand, they're top by a point. But the Rangers' goal difference, the way they're putting teams away is more convincing. And against us, they were certainly the more convincing. At home to Celtic, we pretty much looked like scoring from every counter. Here, we haven't had one because Rangers are dominant. As Kent goes in, good save Segrist. He's been man of the match so far as well. Thank you for everyone joining along this morning. Great to have you all here. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. If you're a Dundee United fan, thank you for coming along. I hope the game goes better for you in real life than it is here. Because Ryan Kent's got in again and he has just missed the post. But it has been dominance. Apologies as well if you can hear the rain. It is smashing the window here. Those of you who know the channel well know that I'm tucked up in a corner between a bed and a wardrobe. So makes it nice and easy to keep warm at least. But into the second half, I mean the positive is it's only 1-0. It could be a lot more given the performance. And thank you for all the extra thumbs up as well. It's been great to have you all along. Oh, he's offside. Mark McNulty scores. I thought we'd nicked one with our first shot there, but offside given. And still nothing on the shot count. But definitely a good morning. There's a full replay available afterwards if you need to catch up. And of course, catch up on Discord. Come and join us over on Twitter. I've set up an Instagram now as well, which there's a link to in the Discord. And I'll put it in the comments at the end here as well. But thank you all for joining along, as Rangers have their own one ruled out for offside now. But we haven't had a shot, and I think we're going to have to change tactic. We threatened to do it. I just wanted to test the water, really, but away to Celtic will do it as well. O'Reilly's been poor, so we'll bring on Houghton, and we'll bring on Glenn Ray for McNulty, who's still in a goal drought. He'll be a defensive... No, he'll be an anchor man. Let's leave him as that. That's what he does for Luton. Shanklin can stay up there as the poacher. Or an advance forward. It doesn't really matter. Sporrell on the left wing is going to be replaced by Chalmers. Mitchell's going to be replaced by Robson. And possibly Liam Smith replaced by Josh Clark. I know it's all 5 subs made. But I feel like that needs to be done. So let's go and get into the last half an hour. We've managed a shot. That's a positive at least. 1 shot we've had. And it's a corner to Rangers. Goldson again. We cannot compete with that threat in the air. It has been a brilliant display. It's got to be said. Ryan Kent's been a star. Hadji's been a star. Back to the edge to Ryan Jack. He's got 2 with him. One's Kamara. Jack again to Zungu. Back to him again. Zungu gets it wide to Cedric. Back to Hadji. Cedric, Hadji is so dominant. We get the blocking though. And now, can we score a counter? Chalmers gets it up to Fuchs, loses out. Back to Chalmers again. And that's why I like to have 2 up front. Because if you go forward with 1 up front like this, it just comes straight back most of the time. And Hadji's got it again on the right. We've nicked it again with Robson. And now Fuchs. This is the one. Shanklin's peeling off to the left. Fuchs puts him in. Shanklin via the keeper. Shanklin shot saved by McGregor. And he's tipped wide for a corner kick. That was the chance, you feel. I don't think we can deal with more than 1 of them. As Robson's got an in-swinging corner. Chance to get to the back stick. Shanklin's there, but he loses out. Ryan Kent chases it. And he's the danger man. He has been a superstar today. Down the right-hand side. He's getting chased now. Reynolds gets the tackle in. And I think our best chance to get a point has gone. An unfortunate one, but definitely a decent performance, if nothing else. Thank you to everyone that supported this morning as well. I'll be honest, I reckon, and I don't want to sound horrible here, I was going to say it, as we're now 2-0 down. I I was going to say, I reckon most Dundee United fans have taped one today. But Morelos has just made it 2. Again, it's Goldson winning a flick on from the corner. And if we can get a commanding presence in, I mean, if Pearson was playing instead of Reynolds, a man marking him, I don't think that would have happened. But as it is, we deservedly lose. It's 2-0 to Rangers. And that pretty much shows that we are best of the rest, rather than competing with the 2. So that is the way we finish. 7 in a row without defeat. A disappointment against our bogey side in Hamilton Academical. Aside from that, we're doing okay. Celtic with 2 games in hand can go up to 43 points. In fact, let's just skip ahead and see what the Celtic result is. We'll deal with a press conference very quickly. And we'll just see if Celtic win their game against Kilmarnock. They do, 1-0. So it looks like 3rd place is almost assured. Top 4 is definitely the case. And European football next season is definitely going to be the one. So we will be back on Tuesday afternoon at 5:30 for normal live streams with Dundee United. Every week, 5:30 on Tuesday and 10:30 on Sunday. On Tuesday night, we'll have Aberdeen in the Cup quarter-final, Hibs, Kilmarnock, Motherwell and Celtic away in a very busy Christmas period. Before next Sunday, we'll be live with the January transfer window and plenty of games and action to come as well. Fingers crossed a Cup semi-final. So if you did enjoy this one and you haven't yet, please do put a thumbs up on it. L Gaming, you rage quitted because of this idiot. 1-3 and left about 6. I can't be doing that. See, that's the thing. I can't rage quit. I'm happy to lose 5-0. It doesn't bother me. But thank you all for coming along. Thank you for joining me this morning. We'll be back on Tuesday. Do appreciate it. Thank you for coming along. Macca, appreciate the kind words. And thank you, L Gaming, as well. We'll see you all on Tuesday evening. There's a video at 3:30 today from the head coach and tomorrow from Bangor as well. And I'll see you live again on Tuesday night. Thank you for your support as always.